Hello everyone, my name is Doll. We are here in Greenbelt and I am talking to Kennedy Taylor. Miss Maryland, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so many things I want to talk about. But first, I want to share with you, I am friends and a longtime friend with her grandmother, Miss Grace, and Miss Grace is her biggest fan. And for many, many years, whatever Kennedy Taylor does, I hear all about it. I bought calendars. I bought calendars with you on it when you were with the Redskins. Okay, she was a Redskin cheerleader. Woo woo! You know, I always wanted to be a Redskin cheerleader.
Really?
Yeah. So before we get started talking about Miss Maryland, I just want to know, what was that like?
Yes. First of all, again, thank you for having me. My grandmother adores you, so
yes,
I'm very happy to hear
her
this.
Too.
But yes, I cheered for 5 years for the Washington Redskins. I was never a member of a Commander, so I can't say that. Okay. I did do 1 year as a football team member, though, but it was incredible. I had the opportunity to travel to 23 countries overseas, visiting servicemen and women, and also doing, like you mentioned, swimsuit calendars. Yeah. But the girls that I cheered with, they're my best friends. Some of them are my bridesmaids because I just got engaged.
Oh, so congratulations!
I'm forever grateful for that.
Man.
He's very sweet. Okay. And Grace loves him.
Okay, that's important. That's very important. Did your grandma like the one that you're going to marry?
You know, she's a little tough, so.
Yes, she is.
I'm glad she approved.
It's true. Okay, you did the Redskins. After that, what else did you do after that? I know you've done commercials. I know that you also work with cybersecurity right now. And what are the other things that you have done before Miss Maryland?
Well, absolutely. I did modeling for years, since I was a child, actually. I think my first ad was with McDonald's, and I did a lot of work with Tommy Hilfiger. So it's always been a big part of my life. Right. I'll say academics was always my #1 focus. Next, I was an international ballroom dancer, so I competed for 10 years internationally, had the time of my life.
So you can talent too. Yeah. You can dance.
That was my Miss America talent. I did a ballroom dance. But
wow, that's awesome. See, it's so important to have it all. You know, you got the beauty, the brains.
You're sweet.
Okay, so now you went up for Miss America. So how did you plan and get ready for that? Like, what is that like?
Absolutely. Well, Miss America is next level. It really is like the Super Bowl for women, in my opinion.
Okay.
Miss America, she's smart, she's talented, so I really had to focus on all areas of my life. As you mentioned, I work in cybersecurity, so I think a lot of my job was actually good preparation for Miss America. I'm constantly speaking to executives, and again, you do that at Miss America. I had to work on my talent. I decided to dedicate my talent, my ballroom dance, to my late ballroom partner. He passed, unfortunately, last summer.
I'm so sorry.
So I made sure, thank you, I made sure it was perfect. I practiced every day before I worked out. Fitness is a major component.
Okay, so tell me. You look gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
What is your day like in the morning? Like, what do you eat? Like, tell me everything. Like,
from the beginning.
What do you drink? What do you eat to look so good?
Oh, you're so sweet. What do you do? No. With Miss America, I feel like my days were a lot more regimented. I would get up, I would work out at 6 a.m., I would practice my talent at 7 a.m., and I'd have to be back by my first meeting at 8 a.m. And of course, as Miss Maryland, we have appearances, all year. So
do you get
appearances at night. Sleep. Actually, I do get sleep just because I'm really cranky if I don't get 8 hours. Okay. So if that means I go to bed at 9 or I go to bed at 11, I make sure I get my 8 hours.
Okay.
So today, thankfully, things are a little bit slower. Thankfully, just getting ready to give up my title.
It's been a whole year. You've been holding on to that title. So tell us some of the duties that it takes to be Miss Maryland.
Yes.
What are
Absolutely.
the duties?
Well, all of us do have personal initiatives that we advocate for throughout the year. Mine is focused on internet safety. When I was cheering in the NFL, someone obtained my location and started to follow me. It was terrifying.
No.
But that's why I've dedicated my year to internet safety. I really focus on teaching youth the internet safety and security skills they need to stay safe online. So that's a major duty of mine. I think representation is so important. There aren't many Miss Marylands of color, I think, in the last 10 years. I think I'm the first in maybe 8 years or so.
Yeah, but
so
you also did something else big, being Miss Maryland for the first time.
I was the first Black Miss Maryland's teen.
Yes.
And yes, for the first time, so at Miss America, I was lucky enough to place in the top 10.
Wow,
and I brought
that's
home
big.
2 preliminary awards.
Big.
So yes,
That's
first time
big.
this ever happened in Maryland history.
Yeah.
Excited to put Maryland on the map in that regard.
Yes, yes. I mean, you're representing Miss Maryland very well. I'm telling you. Tell us some of the people you've met and on your journey.
Oh, I've been very lucky to meet lots of incredible people. I met Governor Wes Moore,
Yes.
incredible governor of Maryland,
Yes, he is.
and oh my goodness, what a presence he has about himself.
Yes, he is.
It's amazing. I was at the White House, and I got to speak to
Oh,
White
that's
House interns
awesome.
recently. I was recently with the Director of National Intelligence, the CIO at the
Wow.
Office of the Director of National
That's
Intelligence.
awesome.
Yeah, well, for someone like me in cybersecurity, getting to mix cybersecurity with pageantry has been a dream, something
Yes,
that you
yes.
could never even think of.
Wow, that is so awesome. Okay, I'm trying to think of everything that we could ask you, okay? Okay, so we talked about what you do every day when you get up. You said you exercise, you drink a lot of...
Yeah, I drink a lot of water. I'm not a big breakfast eater, actually. So
Okay.
lunch, I have a big lunch every day and a really big dinner.
Right, and your hair is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
And that's all your hair. Yes, it is.
Yes, I just went to
know, 'cause
Dry Bar.
that's what Grace was saying. She's because I saw your picture. I said, "Wow, does she have tracks?" She said, "No, that's all her hair." And by the way, this is all mine.
My hair's
So a
beautiful.
lot of people don't realize you can take care of your hair. You can
Absolutely.
keep it glowing and growing. All you have to do is eat right and put the right nutrients in, right?
Absolutely. Grace
Right.
gets mad at me every time I cut my hair. Because just like my mom, I love doing a short bob, and she yells at me.
Right, exactly.
She's like, how could you cut your hair?
Exactly. So let me tell you, what was it like traveling? You said you did a lot of traveling. What did you do overseas?
Absolutely. So we did a lot of traveling to visit troops overseas.
Okay.
We were at many different military bases. I've been to Kuwait, Bahrain, Italy, Spain, Portugal, so many incredible countries. But when we visited these bases, a lot of our troops just felt homesick. So we were that
Right.
taste of home.
Right.
A lot of them were from DC. That was always very fun to get to talk
Wow,
about my
that's
area.
fun.
And we performed for them. So
Oh,
we
that's
put
awesome.
together a show with some of our, Redskins dances at the time. Some of them were new dances that honored our troops, singing to God Bless America, what have you. But it was really, really fun to do that.
So with the duties of Miss Maryland, do you travel as well?
Not overseas, everything is domestically,
Right
but yes,
here.
I've traveled a lot throughout the state of Maryland. Because we're in the DMV, I've gone to all, DC, Maryland, and Virginia with my title. But yes, and Miss America was in Orlando, Florida.
Yes, it was. And I wanted to go.
Really?
Yeah, because Grace was saying, Kennedy is going to be running for Miss America. And let me ask you this. Okay, so there are a lot of young girls watching this that would like to do what you're doing. How do they prepare, or what do they do to get to this level?
Absolutely. So one thing I'll say, just a little plug for my program, is we are a scholarship organization.
Okay.
When I won $11,000 plus, because I won prelim awards, I took home I think $12,500.
Wow.
So I got into the program because I needed that help with school. I always
Okay.
have. So that was incredible for me. And every lady who competes walks away with something at the competition.
So-
If any girls are trying to compete, so I'll just quickly say, I would say to focus on your interview. That's always
Okay,
number
interview.
one, and that will help you anywhere in life. You
Right.
can always use good interview skills.
Okay, interviewing is very important because that gets people to know more about you instead of just the beauty on the outside. Because we know you're beautiful on the outside, but also you got the beauty on the inside. So that shines when you do the interviews, correct? And when they
Absolutely.
ask you those tough questions at the end, some people get tongue-tied, can't answer them, but you answered yours very well. Can you remember what
Thank
they
you.
asked you?
I will say there was a really interesting question at Miss America, and they asked me what I thought about the fentanyl crisis versus the crack epidemic that affected the DC area. They were asking if I thought that the difference in attention was due to race. And I just thought that was a very thoughtful question. And that's the thing about these competitions, is they give you thoughtful questions and force you to figure out how to respond based on how you're feeling. If you think, I feel like you can't respond. You just have
Right.
to go with how you're feeling.
So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I thought, again, it was a very thoughtful question, and I did say that I do think the fentanyl crisis gets more attention because it affects white Americans. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah. What do you meditate?
Ooh, I'm actually very into meditating, yes. I try to meditate every morning. I just need a second to ground myself, but sometimes I do it during the day if I'm stressed.
So let me ask you this. Did you see yourself being Miss Maryland before you was Miss Maryland? Like, did you feel like you had this or you wasn't sure?
I did go in confidence. I had purposely envisioned my crowning moment multiple times.
Wow.
So that way when I was on stage, it just felt like second nature. I had already done this before.
Right.
But I will say I was still very nervous at Miss Maryland.
Right.
I had never been so nervous in my life. I don't know. But at Miss America, it was the opposite. I was so calm, so
Right.
ready every time I was on stage.
So let me ask you this. When they called your name, was it an outer body experience or how was you feeling when you heard Kennedy Taylor, Miss Maryland?
I will say I was first runner-up at Miss Maryland USA 2 years in a row prior.
Okay, so you
I had
kept
been
trying.
I had been holding the hands multiple times before. I knew what it was like to not win. So for
Okay.
me, I feel like I wasn't even focused on the moment. I was just like, you know what, I've been here before. Whatever happens, happens.
So-
So when they said my name, I was thrilled.
So is winning important to you? Like, is that a challenge for you? Like winning all the time is?
For me, it's never been about winning. My
Okay.
mom taught me very young to celebrate the audition. It
Okay.
wasn't about whether or not you got
Okay.
the audition or
Okay.
not. So I was seeing my growth every year. I've become a very well-spoken individual. I've become more
Right.
confident, less afraid of failure. And that's why
Right.
I think this year I finally won. It's because I was confident, right?
So it's okay to lose.
oh, losing
Yeah.
makes you stronger.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
I believe some people they have lost, or have had their titles taken away from them, have gone on to do miraculous
Absolutely.
things. Like look at Vanessa Williams.
I know. Idol.
So winning and losing is not a bad thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are many other famous celebrities who didn't win the
Yeah.
national titles, right?
But I
Like
remember
Halle
her name.
Berry.
Yeah, Halle
didn't-
Berry too.
She did not win Miss USA, but she was very
Wow.
close.
And look how Halle Berry has gone on to do great and
Exactly.
fabulous things. Yeah, so if you don't make it as Miss USA, that doesn't mean anything. It just means you just keep trying in other things. What other things you love to do?
Well, I have 2 dogs. I will say right now, my life is consumed by my dogs.
I understand. I got 2 dogs
Oh,
too.
yeah, what type of dog?
Coco and Baby Love, Yorkies, and they spoil rotten.
Aw, so cute.
Oh, what kind of dog you have?
I have an Australian Shepherd mix and a Cockapoo.
Oh,
And their personalities are opposite. It's so funny to have them together.
Do you dress them up too? I dress mine.
Sometimes, like for sports games, we like to put on a little jersey, but that's about it.
I
You dress
know.
yours up?
Yeah, because I know if I was Miss Maryland, mine would have a little crown and the little glasses
not
and
think
little
about
roses
that.
in the front.
That is such a cute idea. Is it too late for
But
me?
you know what? Okay, so let me ask you this. Now, also there was a swimsuit section in being Miss Maryland. You had to do swimwear. How do you feel about that? Like some women want to cover up, so how do you feel about wearing swimwear?
So Miss America actually just transitioned, and now we have fitness. I think we transitioned in 2018 or so. So
Okay.
we wore an activewear outfit instead of a swimsuit.
That's what I was going to get
with
at.
that, you
Yeah.
could kind of choose what you wanted to wear. Some
Right.
of us, especially at the state level, wore leggings if you felt more comfortable. Some wore tank tops.
Right.
I'll be honest, I loved swimsuit. I miss
Me
swimsuit.
too.
I feel confident in a swimsuit. I really think there's nothing that makes you feel more empowered than working for a goal
That's
like
true.
that and
That's
shining
true.
on stage.
Because, I was 4-time Jet Beauty of the Week. 4 times I was in Jet.
I'm not surprised. You're still
4
beautiful.
times, thank you. But I know what you mean by getting ready and preparing, and it's hard work. A lot of people see a lot of the models and they just think, oh, well, she's naturally beauty and this and that. They don't know the hard work that it takes to get to where you're
Absolutely.
at. It's a lot of preparing and practicing and exercising and watching what you eat and walking.
Right.
Let's talk about the walking, because you had to walk in those heels that are like 3-4 inches across that stage.
More like 4 or 5.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
What is that like? And then you don't want to fall, because I've seen some ladies have, fall. They will fall during the whole thing.
Right. Well, this is where
Yeah.
practice comes in.
Yeah.
I love walking in heels. I love runway. I love modeling. I
So
think,
you like
again,
Beyonce.
I don't know about Beyonce, but I do feel confident when I walk,
Yeah,
and I think that
yeah.
comes from practice. So
Right.
just like everything else, I would go after I practiced my talent, and I'd do like my runway walk back and forth, 100 times a day.
With a crown on your head?
No crown on my head. But that way, during competition, it was muscle memory. I was ready to go.
Right, because I see some women, when they get the crown, it kind of goes off to the side and it falls off and they're holding it and they're still walking.
Well,
and
it's on by
roses.
bobby pins. So like the first
can
time.
you show them? Put your head down.
The first time they put it on, they may not put enough bobby pins in, and that's why it's like falling. But I have enough in right now to keep it secure.
Okay, and so let me ask you this, the talent part of it. Do you think it's very important to have the talent part in Miss Maryland, you know, so people can see the talent of each individual?
It is what we're known for in the Miss America system, I'll say. I think that the talents are really special.
Okay.
You'll see some girls who are cheerleaders and do stunts, and you'll see some girls who are playing the harp. And it really does connect you to people in a different way.
But what if you don't have any talent, like can't sing, can't dance, or whatever? So can they still do it?
Yes, there's actually an option to either do a monologue, because some people like to act, or there's something called a her story. I did that last year. It's where you share a story that is important to you.
Okay.
And I talked about being cyberstalked on the Miss Maryland stage, and I remember it was surreal. I remember like the gasps in the audience. I remember just feeling connected further to the judges. And with that, the judges can learn that you can speak really well, right? In that 90-second option there.
Wow, that's awesome.
But there's an option for everyone.
What's the goals after Miss Maryland? What's the goals?
Oh, well, like I said, I just got engaged, so I would like to finish planning the wedding. I'm about halfway there right now. And I work in cybersecurity. My job is extremely important to me, and I wanted to take the time to focus on it. Because while I've been focused all year, I do have to leave during the day sometimes for events.
Okay, and what kind of events? Share with them the events that you do.
Yeah, so this week I have an event in Annapolis, and it's called the Peka Girlfriends Party, where they're having Miss Maryland come and hang out. Sometimes I'm speaking. With the White House, of course, I was speaking to the audience that I was with. Sometimes I'm dancing. It really just depends. I get booked for different events. But my favorite, I think, surprisingly this year, were parades. I love waving in parades and seeing the little girls who say,
I was on the side. I was on the sideline. I used to always see Miss Maryland. I'd be like,
it is really special. It sounds silly.
No, what did you show the way?
In the movies they do this, but I do like a cute little.
Like this.
But to hear little girls say like, "Mom, Miss Maryland looks like me," or "Looked at me," or "Can I picture this Maryland?"
It's no filter. She's really gorgeous in person.
But it's really fun to do that.
Yes. So, what would you tell the girls that are watching you, inspiring you, want to dream big, and what would you tell them?
I always tell girls to envision yourself in a position. And keep envisioning it, because once you envision it, you can get there, period. And I replace all of my can'ts with cans. I think there are a million things 10 years ago that I never thought I'd be able to achieve that I did end up achieving just because I tried, just because I told myself I could.
Okay, so I can.
Exactly.
I can wear the crown and wear the roses. You know what? I tell you this, even if you're not in a beauty pageant, okay, and you want to feel like a queen, put that crown on, even if it's invisible.
Absolutely.
Even if you have that invisible crown and say, I am beautiful and I am gorgeous, and buy yourself some roses.
Affirmations, absolutely.
Yes, buy yourself some roses. Look in the mirror and tell yourself you are beautiful, that you are Miss Maryland. You are Miss America. You are Miss Universe. Without even being in the competition.
It works. Play your favorite song, play some Pitbull. Pitbull's my jam.
Yes.
It's very fun
Have
to do
a pajama party and everybody wears their crowns.
Yeah, I love that idea.
But you are inspiring us. That's why I brought you here. You're inspiring every young lady to dream big. And to no, I'm telling you. And the fact that you said it doesn't matter if you win or if you lose, you just keep trying. And I really love the fact that you did lose the 2 times before, because then you won and you show everybody that, yes, failure is not a bad thing.
Absolutely. You know? Thank you. That means so much to me. It really
failure
does.
is not a bad thing, because even though you're not Miss America, you know, you are doing a great job at being Miss Maryland, and you're representing us very well. We're very proud of you. You're very gorgeous, and I know, and you're beautiful inside and out, and smart. So I know you have some great, great things in store, more things to come. And I love your energy because you keep going. You keep going and you keep doing things. And I wanted to share that with all the viewers out there, because there's somebody watching that's laying on the couch or in their bedroom that just gave up. What would you tell them?
Oh, that's a tough position to be in, because sometimes it's depression, right? It's the need to talk about whatever's going on with you mentally.
Yes.
I would say if you have a goal, you need to go for it. And one thing I like to remind myself is that it really is an honor and a privilege to serve. Sometimes I think of it like, oh, it would be great. But you know what? It's an honor to be able to serve the state of Maryland. It's going to be an honor to be able to do whatever it is that you bring to the world. So remember that. It's your duty. It's a privilege, like I mentioned, and you've got this.
And don't give up.
Exactly.
Right. Don't give up.
I love your energy.
Yeah, don't give up. I don't care who you are. Don't give up.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming, and you got to believe it. And I love how you said you do your affirmations. You said that you, in the morning, you speak, you saw yourself with the crown before you got the crown.
Absolutely.
Yeah, see, that's beautiful. Yeah, and you see yourself speaking to people. You see yourself in the parade, and then it happened. That's a wonderful thing. I'm telling you. I'm just really enjoying this interview. Okay, how do you prepare? That's another thing for what you're going to wear. Like, how do you know what to wear?
So one thing my mom always told me was dress for the job you want, not the job that you have.
Okay.
So even when we would go to rehearsals for Miss Maryland or anything else, I always make sure that I'm dressed my best. So that means something that makes me feel confident and usually exudes whatever confidence or aspect I want to portray. So right now I'm wearing this, it's like a suit blazer, but it's also like fun. It's got a cutout. This is my personality, 100%. And I wore this one competing for Miss Maryland when everyone else wore sweats, because I was like, you know what? I am Miss Maryland. So I need to dress like Miss Maryland.
And you want to look the best that you possibly can.
Absolutely.
At all times.
And that applies to everything. That applies to wanting a new job. That applies to maybe trying to, I don't know, date someone, right? Dress your best.
And then you have the prettiest teeth.
Oh, stop.
I'm telling you, she takes good care of her teeth. They're bright white. Bright
so
white
are yours. I'm looking at yours blinging over there.
I know. They're so bright that they're woo.
Oh, stop. Thank you.
No, I'm telling you. She is so gorgeous in person. I'm telling you, I wish you could be here to see her. But you see her out there. But anyway, Kennedy, I want to know who inspires you. You inspire so many people. We want to know who inspires you.
I'll say that I have a lot of incredible female leaders in my family.
Okay.
My great-grandmother, she was one of the very first HIV and AIDS nurses back in the day, back when the patients were unfortunately being turned away. My mom, oh my goodness, she is such a fighter. She's the one who taught me, of course, to celebrate the audition and not the win. I feel like she's always been in my back corner supporting me. And Grandma Grace, she's a fireball for sure. But I take that with me. I don't let people push me around.
And she is
I'm very assertive.
Yes.
And I learned that from my family members.
That's awesome. So you got wonderful people in your family that inspire you. That's great.
I'm very fortunate to have them.
Yes, that is awesome. That is awesome. Okay, Kennedy, could you please let everybody know if they want to follow you or keep up with you and the things that you're doing? Could you tell them how?
Yes, absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram at Kennedy Taylor. So that is an S at the end. My podcast is there. It's called the At Ladies Lead Podcast. And we also have a YouTube channel that you can follow on the Ladies Lead Podcast.
Yay! I can't wait to go check it out.
Thank you so much.
And so I'm not going to hold you because I know you have to get home to your cute little doggies and your fiance.
Thank you.
I am so excited for you. I can't wait to hear about the planning and getting ready for the wedding. This is awesome.
Grace will tell you everything.
Oh, you know Grace will tell me everything. Grace is like, I'm telling you, she's your biggest cheerleader. I'm telling you, she's out there like, Kennedy this and Kennedy this and Kennedy should have won. And she was been out for this, and you know my baby should have won. They lost their mind. You know she should have won. You know she should have won. And I said, I know, but she did win. She did win because you're still winning, honey. You're still
with
winning.
Or without the crown.
You're a winner at Miss Maryland. You may not be Miss USA, but you still won, honey. You still won. But anyway, anyone out there that's aspiring to be Miss Maryland, you can do it. She just showed you how you can do it and what it takes to be Miss Maryland. And I wish you all the best and all the success, and God bless you. And thank you for this lovely interview.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been very fun.
Can you wave bye-bye to them?
Bye.
No, do the wave. Do the